All right, Shalom. As always, all praises, honor, and glory goes out to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Lord willing, this one will be quick and edifying to the elect. All right, so real quick, I had a conversation again with another Uber driver, and these Jake are lost, man. These so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, all lost. There's gonna be a remnant that's saved, the elect. Men, women, and children, and 144,000 men, right, that are predestined from before the face of the earth, to receive salvation. But other than the allotted elect, you're gonna have people that know that they're Israelites that still don't believe, and you're gonna have people that have no clue that they're Israelites, and they're gonna stay ignorant until death. So the conversation went like this: we're speaking about the currency and how, there was a time where one US dollar was $60 Jamaican dollars, 60 Jamaican dollars, right? And we were saying that if it would have stayed there, that would have been fine, right? However, the conversation went further and says these leaders and they're not keeping the money in the country and so on and so forth. All of that is fine, right? All of that is true. However, he went on to say that we just need the right leader, man. The right leader, things can change, things will get better. We just have to wait on the right man. When the right man comes, everything will be all right. And I said to him, nothing will change, man. That's not gonna change, without saying too much. And he said, what do you mean? Of course, man, things can change, man. Things will get better. Things will get better. We just need the right leader. So I just laughed, and said, take care of yourself, pretty much, to him, because these people trust in something vain. These people trust in the beast system of Esau, Edom, Babylon the Great, which is America. That's what these people trust in without even knowing. They think that these prime ministers in Jamaica and these Caribbean countries and these other countries have any say or any power. They're just following orders. They're just joined onto a bigger monster, man. They're pretty much irrelevant, right? These leaders are just set up to lead you people to the slaughter, lead you people to destruction, lead you people into the, deceive you people into believing that they're gonna help you and that they mean you well, which is all a lie. But I just left it there with him because I'm not gonna go back and forth with a Negro about whether or not we just need a right leader and the right leader comes, everything will right, because they don't speak about Yahweh Shai. He's not speaking about Yahweh Shai and Yahweh. He's trusting in man. So this is Psalms chapter 118 verse 8. It is better to trust in Yahweh than to put confidence in man. And that's the first thing that came to my mind. The confidence that he has in a man, a mortal man, to come and make things better. The right man. We just need the right man to make things better, and we keep the money into the country and everything will be grow and be better and happy ending, happy ever after, right? But that's not what's gonna happen, man. The Lord set things up the way he set it up. He rules in the kingdom of men. He sets over it whoever he pleases, roughly paraphrasing. I think that's in the Ecclesiasticus Sirach, if I'm not mistaken, right? The Lord set things up how it is. It's not for us to prosper in these times, because these tribes have no clue that they're the chosen people. They have no clue that they're under the curses. That's why they suffer and go through these different things and have these different crazy scenarios and things that happen in their lives, and things just seem rough, as they say in the Caribbean, just hard. Things seem hard and hopeless, right? They have no clue why these things are happening, because they don't have wisdom. The spirit is not dealing with them. They're not allotted to receive these things. And it's possible some may wake up, in the last minutes. You never know. All of those things belong to Yahweh Shemel Shai. However, majority of these people are ignorant to what's happening. They don't go beyond the surface level. They don't understand the spiritual aspect of what's happening. So again, it says it's better to trust in Yahweh than to put confidence in man. it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes. And these men of the world, they're likened unto princes, man. There's many examples in the scripture about Pharaoh. The Lord lifted up Pharaoh and brought him down just to show his power. These men are irrelevant. They don't have any significance or any power at all. Nobody really does. The Lord can lift up stones. However, you do have levels. You do have people that are above people and people that are greater than people. And the greatest people on the earth today are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the 12 tribes of Israel, Yasharala. We are the greatest people on the earth. So we're above all people. However, the Lord is the one that gives us the power. The Lord is the one that puts these nations above us and give them that power to rule above us, because it's coming from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He's the one that's doing it. They're not doing anything, right? So let me see. I got a next precept to back up that point. Let me see what it is. Not that one. I think it's Romans. I think I have Romans somewhere. Where that be? All right. So this is Romans chapter 9 verse 16 says, so then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy. And that's the point I wanted to bring out. It's the Most High that controls what happens, and the outcome, and the damage, and the justice or the injustice, or the whatever it may be. It's all in the hands of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? Let me go back to this now. So this is Isaiah chapter 31 verse 1, and this is talking about in the time of Moses, and it also relates to now. It's twofold, because everything is nothing new under the sun. Things repeat. The same spirits that were back then are back now, and certain prophecies aren't fully fulfilled in the past. It's also fulfilled. It reaches to its fullness in these times, in these present times. So these Bible verses apply today as well. So this is Isaiah chapter 31 verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Woe to Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Woe to all of these other, Israelite rulers in the world, right? Woe to you people that have the same mindset, trusting in your prime ministers and your MPs and your politicians. Woe to you, because you don't realize what's happening. You're going to the enemy for help, right? And that's the point. Woe unto you, death, unbelief, destruction. So this is Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 5. It says, thus saith Yahweh, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. So you're cursed when you trust in man, because you should have the understanding as an Israelite to know that man has no power. It's Yahweh Hashem Yahushai that gives man the power. No man has any power over you. The Lord directs men to do what they do through his spirit, right? And that's just that. That's facts. It's no man that has the power over you necessarily. The Lord gives men, the power or authority to do certain things, puts the information in their head, leads them to do this, right? But trusting in men, will curse you, will cause you to be cursed. It says, and maketh his flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because your heart is far from the Lord, because you're not giving reverence. You're not acknowledging that, hey, it's Yahweh Hashem Yahushai that's doing this. It's the Lord that's doing these things. You don't have that spiritual understanding, so your heart is far. And the Lord made it that way, right? And that's a scary thing, a scary situation, a scary position to be in, because then you're led to a ditch. You're gonna fail. You're gonna be lost. You're not gonna have any understanding. You trust in something vain. You trust in something that is gonna last for a short time. You don't have an everlasting understanding. You don't have an everlasting um you don't have everlasting faith, pretty much. You have faith in something that's vain, and when you trust in something that's vain and then it fails, there's nothing left. You're putting your faith in something that the foundation is sand, right? You're putting your faith in something that's prophesied to be destroyed and taken out. This world, let me get that real quick. Through the Spirit. Bear with me. I think it's 2 Peter, yeah. No, not this one. I think it's John. Nope. Not ready for that one. Right, so this is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 31. And it says, and they that use this world as not abusing it. Right? Because you don't want to abuse your use in this world. You use it with balance, to your benefit to a certain extent. It says, for the fashion of this world passeth away. This world, everything in this world, the simple, trivial things, the simple, meaningless things that people go crazy over. Cars, the latest fashion trends, clothes, the latest phone, even women, all of these things, lusts after these different women, and wickedness, and smoking weed, and blah, 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 blah. All these stupid things, all these fashions of the world, it passes away. So it's very stupid to trust in even the currency, the Jamaican dollar, and say, oh, where dollar should be. Because it's not even real. They have an unlimited amount. It's paper. That's not real money. They can never run out, right? So it's very vain, for him to trust in, the progression of Jamaica, right? So, again, it says, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. And that's what it is, right? So let's go on and let me just wrap this up and read all the precepts that I have remaining, right? Right, so this is Isaiah chapter 43, verse 13. And these are things that people should know. Yeah, before the day I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand, right? So there's no money or no leader that's going to come, right? Leader that's going to come to deliver you out of the hand of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Only person that's going to deliver us is Yahweh Shai. And that's what the Bible prophesied. And we are the only people on the planet Earth that need saving. You so-called Negroes, man, Latinos and Native Americans, the 12 tribes of Israel, right? No one can save you but Yahweh Shai. That's whom we get salvation through, right? So there's no man that's going to come, no right man, only Yahweh Shai, our big brother, right? Again, it says, yeah, before the day was I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? Right, the Lord controls this, man. So if you're not trusting in Yahweh Shemel Shai, you're through. This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people does not consider. You do not consider that you belong to Yahweh Shemel Shai. That's not where your meditation is on. What would be great if he was of the elect, which we don't know who's of the elect, but if he was, and if he was awakened right now, he would say, well, just have to trust in Yahweh Shemel Shai. All of this doesn't matter, man. All of these devils, these leaders are wicked. Nothing is not going to change until Yahweh Shemel Shai comes to take the kingdom, and that's what it is. Nothing is going to change. When I said that, it's like his heart broke. I said, nothing is not going to change. And I just left it there. But oh, you mean we just need a right leader? We just need the right one. You trust in something vain. Right? And we read that already. Cursed be the man that trusted in man. And these people are cursed. All right, so the last one I have here is to close is John chapter 17, verse 9, and this is Yahweh Shai. speaking to the elect, and it says, "For I pray for them. I pray not for the world." Ooh, so this goes out to all the people that say, "Oh, God loves everyone," and John 3:16, and everyone can be saved. No, Yahushua is saying, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, "I pray not for the world. I pray for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine." Right? He's speaking of the elect, the remnant. And the remnant is, when you look up the word remnant, it goes into a portion that's left saved. If you have a bag of chocolate, and you leave 4 in there, that's the remnant. You save that. It's a small portion. So it's a small portion, of Israelites that are going to be saved. And that's who the Lord prays for. The Lord doesn't care about you 2/3. You 2/3 are going to die in your ignorance. You're going to die trusting in this government. You're going to die trusting in Babylon. You're going to die, trusting in the prosperity of this world. Oh, I want to be a millionaire one day. I want to own mansions. I want to do this and that. Why do you want to live in a wicked world and gain riches in a wicked vibration? You people don't care, man. You people are not spiritually discerned. You don't have the eye salve to see that this world has to pass away. It's not right. It doesn't mean you can't have things, but your mindset shouldn't be towards those things, man. Actually, I think let me close with this. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13. "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth where dwell in righteousness." And that's what the elect hope for. That's what we wait for. We wait for this world to be transferred into the hands of the righteous, where the heavens and the earth will be refreshed, renewed, and we will be ruling in righteousness, in perfection, right? So that's that. I'll leave it there. These Uber drivers never fail to give me, topics to do videos on, because he was so serious about this new right leader, that are going to make things right. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory, as always, goes out to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rukaha Kodash, Abad Bal, Shalom.